Alright, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. And first and foremost, before we get going with this Sunday's stream, if you're new to the channel and tuning in for the first time, we'd love to have you here for future streams and future videos. So make sure you don't miss those by hitting that subscribe button below and hit that bell icon right beside it. That way it'll notify you every time we go live or upload another video. We tend to do these Sunday stock talk, stock watch type of videos, streams every Sunday, as long as life does not hit unexpectedly. And then we try to do at least one middle of the week, kind of like a market update, where I just give my overall just profit loss so far on the week, what I'm holding, what I'm looking at for the rest of the week, that kind of thing, usually sometime between Tuesday and Thursday. So like I said, you want to hit that bell icon once you subscribe. That way you'll be notified when I do those. And then of course, if you want to stay on top of everything, we also have a Discord group chat. And if you don't know what Discord is by now, it's a totally free app that you can download for any smartphone, on your laptop as well. And our group is obviously free to join. We don't charge for anything associated with this channel, and we now have pretty close. I think we might have just went over 200 subscribers, or not subscribers, but 200 members in there. And like I said, totally free. We love to have you there. Always just looking to grow that community as well. And I will just take a look real quick and make sure we are up and going. It looks like we're doing all right. So if we ever have any issues with audio or anything like that, just let me know in the chat. I don't have the chat pulled up currently, but like I said, I'll be checking it periodically. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shout it out there, and I will definitely answer your questions. If you have any stocks, anything you want me to take a look at, have questions about futures, anything like that, that is what these Sunday stock talks are for, essentially. So this last week was kind of a really interesting week for trading. We were profitable. We did not trade for 2 days. Those of you that have been with the channel for a while know that I have been battling these I just refer to them as spells, where I can randomly, just out of the blue, just get dizzy, lightheaded, blackout, that kind of thing. And I didn't trade for a couple days because those started coming back. I am going to the doctor finally to just get it all figured out, because I've been dealing with it for far too long and I'm sick of dealing with it. So hopefully we get some good news on that, and hopefully I'm done dealing with it after a few years now of dealing with it. Still dealing with it today, but just kind of powering through. But we did not trade for a couple days this week, and overall we ended the week up just over $350 after fees and commissions. But it was a very sideways week, and that's the crazy part, is we really didn't even start trading until it was kind of sideways. So obviously earlier in the week we had a pretty big move to the downside. We were watching it super closely. We did not breach. We briefly breached. I got too many alerts set. Let me go ahead and cancel these two. So we did briefly breach that 31.40 area. We dropped all the way down, actually just below 31.19, very briefly, and then we shot clear back up. It was kind of a surprise, in all honesty, because we were sitting here watching it, and in my head, I was just going, if we break 31.40, we could see a free fall down to possibly 3100, maybe even as low as 3090, 3095, somewhere in that area. And somehow we managed. They saved it at 3119 of all levels, which I was looking back at the charts, and I didn't really see a whole hell of a lot that really made sense for why that 3120 area was really the key level. We were getting close to that SMA line on the 4-hour chart, but other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot that really made sense for why that was such a critical point. But like I said, I wasn't really paying too much attention, but we were starting to kind of get in the markets a little bit at that point. And then overall from there, we just shot clear up. We gapped up in the after hours session later on that evening, and then from there we kind of went sideways. We did make I don't think it was quite a new high since back in June. We'll go back again. we got very, very, very close to the June high, which we were discussing this in our Discord group chat. A lot of people aren't really understanding why this 3220 to 3230 area is acting as such a strong resistance. Well, you got to keep in mind, not only is this where we got massively rejected back in June, but if you go all the way back to the beginning of the year, this is right around where we started the very beginning of the year. We were, let's see, go all the way back to January. Let's see. So we are now at January 1st, 2nd. So yeah, you can see right around, it's right around 3140, I think, is the actual technical level. Let's see, 31. So you're talking right around 32.35 roughly. So yeah, I mean, right where that June level where we got completely smacked down is essentially where we started the year. So it would make sense that there's going to be a lot of resistance around that area because what all's happened since the beginning of the year. I mean, yes, we made new all-time highs and whatnot, but we also had coronavirus and all that good stuff. So the market is begging for a reason to go up, but at the same time, if we don't have any positive news on a vaccine, on some sort of a treatment, if we don't have any type of real news, not just, oh, we've had positive results early on, all this BS that we've heard from Moderna and all these other companies, we need like actual news of, hey, we got a treatment, hey, we got a vaccine, hey, like we're not going into a second lockdown, which the news has not really been good. So considering how bad the news has been lately, the market has been holding up pretty well, in all honesty. It's been just really consolidating over the last 3 or 4 trading sessions, or really the last couple weeks. So if we're just going to be honest, we've had a very wide trading range, but overall we've just been consolidating really since early June. So I think the market's begging for a reason to go up, but I'm saying buyer beware, essentially. I'm in nothing right now. I'm actually in all cash. If I do decide to play the market overnight tonight or early tomorrow, I will probably remain neutral. I'll probably just have one short and one long on, just in case if we decide to leg down and maybe, who knows, go under 3,200. I'll have that short and I'll make money on the short. And then once I think we found a support, then I'll dive in some more longs at that point. But I'm really personally in no rush to hop in this market right now, just because there's more bad going on than good at the moment. And I mean, we haven't even gotten into, like, obviously all the other BS that's going on in the U.S. with the election coming up right around the corner now, just a couple months away. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could potentially bring the market down. But like I said, the market is begging for a reason to go up. I think we're just kind of on pause, so to speak. I think we're going to kind of trade in this maybe 200 point at the max, which is a pretty wide range to trade in. If you're talking roughly that 3,000 level, we briefly went below that back in June. Obviously, we dropped all the way down to about 29.83, but right around 3,000 to 3,200 essentially is your range. We're definitely at the upper end of that range for sure. But like I said, I mean, the market is literally begging for a reason to go higher. If we get news that anything is showing signs of life, like all we need is some sort of headline that says vaccine set to be released by the end of, like, we need a date essentially. When are these vaccines going to come out? When are these treatments going to be available? We need a date. If we get a date, you could see the market potentially shoot up to close to all-time highs, or maybe even hit an all-time high. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're seeing this after it uploads, what you guys think. Do you think if we get some sort of news, like a date, that the market's just going to shoot up possibly at all-time highs? Or do you think it's going to be actually more of a buy the rumor, sell the event type of deal? It'll be interesting to know. I think it's more of the market's begging for a reason to go up. I usually tend to be more bullish on the market than bearish. I mean, with good reason. I mean, we had this another prime example of why to tend to be more bullish than bearish. I mean, the bears had every opportunity to just keep bringing this thing down, 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 down. I mean, people were talking 1,800, and then before you know it, boom, bull snap back. Had our alerts. It looks like we're dropping a little bit, but The bears had every opportunity to bring this thing down further and further, and then what happened? Boom. Bulls just took control and really haven't let go since. I mean, we've had some pretty big drops here and there. We had one day we were down 6-7%, but overall, bulls have been primarily in control. And if you guys are wondering, because I know we have like a lot of new traders and a lot of new futures traders and whatnot, what I've been looking at lately is the 15-minute chart a lot. I tend to use the 1 hour and 4 hour a lot because I'm more of a swing trader. I'll hedge myself a lot of times just because I'm not really looking to necessarily time the market. I average into my positions more than anything. I trade the micro E-mini futures. I don't trade the ES or anything like that. I did once briefly. Didn't have as much success at all compared to with the micros. And we are really dumping at this moment. Must have had some news or something come out maybe. But yeah, lately in weeks like this where it's been more of a consolidating type of week, I like to use the 15-minute chart more though, because it gives you a lot more, sometimes I should say, a lot more, we'll zoom in right here for example, a lot more of opportunity to figure out whether we're finding some sort of a support or if we could continue to break down, shoot up, vice versa. Like I said, this week really wasn't too active for us. I'll go ahead and open this up so you guys can see kind of what we got going on. So I did also, by the way, I've made 2 withdrawals from my account over the last week or so. Our account would be somewhere around 15,000 right now. Not quite. It'd be around 14,000, like 800 or something like that. But we did withdraw. So pretty much what I'm doing is when I'm withdrawing from my portfolio, you can see now we're up a little over $2,200 here to date. That's before fees and commissions. After fees and commissions, it's a little less than $2,000. And of course, we've only been on TD Ameritrade now for a couple of months. I think it was April or March, somewhere around March, April, whenever we hopped on TD Ameritrade. So we've been on here now for actually a few months now. And yeah, so we're up a couple grand, nothing crazy. We haven't had this much in the account the entire time. Actually, when we started this portfolio with as little as $500, then $1,000, then $2,000, and then just kept rolling the profits up, of course. And then I dumped in a solid amount of money when I was actually trying to just test the waters with ES essentially, and then we never pulled any money back out. And now, since I'm starting to profit consistently trading the micro futures, just what I'm doing essentially is week to week, whatever my profits are, I'm taking some off the table, leaving quite a bit in there. One, for taxes, of course. That way, at the end of the year, when Uncle Sam wants his, I'll have more than enough in the portfolio, of course, to cover that. And then also, of course, I want the compound effect. I'm not settling with just 14, 15,000 in the account. I want to keep rolling that up, of course. So what I'm doing, like this week, for example, this will drop sometime tomorrow to 14,100. So I withdrew just over $250, nothing major. And the week before, I withdrew enough to take myself down to 14,000. So essentially, I'm compounding 100 out of the $350 and some change that I profited. And it'll just kind of be a week by week thing. What do I have coming up that I know I'm going to need money for? Do I really need the money? If there's weeks or months where I don't even need the money, then I will take very little out. Just because why do you need to take the money out at the end of the day? Just keep rolling it up, keep compounding those profits, and like I said, you'll see your account mathematically explode. But let's go over to just the account statement. So, like I said, I mean, it's going to look like we were like super active, but we really weren't. So this last week, for example, would be the 13th, or technically the 12th, because Sunday night, of course, futures market opens. So 12th through the 17th would be all of our trades. So when you first look at this screen, especially as a newer trader, you probably think, wow, you started down here, worked all the way up here. Like, that's a lot of trades. which, I mean, it's some, but you got to think a trade is literally buying or selling. So a buy is a trade, a sell is a trade. So just because you see quite a bit on here, I mean, it's really not a lot. A lot of it is averaging into positions, hedging against it, and then closing, all that essentially. So the MESZ, that is your December contract. MESU, and the 20 is just the year. MESU is the current September contract. So what I like to do is for my long positions where I'm betting that the market's going to go up, I like to roll out into the December contract, and then I will often hedge myself. They're usually scalps, quicker trades. You can see this one, for example, was about 10 minutes. I don't know what our profit was. A quick little, 9 points or something there. My hedges tend to be more of scalps, shorter term trades, where when I'm going long, I roll out to the December contract and I hold these for, it depends. I mean, sometimes less than a day. Usually, though, I average into these. I buy in at a better price. Sometimes I take a look at the chart again and I get really bullish and I'll just hop in and buy another contract and double up my position, just that kind of thing. But I mean, these sometimes I can hold for as much as a week. Usually I don't. Usually I'm only holding these for a day or so. But it just depends. I set my targets, I set my alerts, and for the most part I just walk away. Because I have a full-time job just like you all. I haven't been working much the last week because with my job I have to drive and whatnot. Whenever you're dizzy, blacking out, they don't really want you to drive. So I've been out for about the last week, and like I said, hopefully we get that solved soon. But even while I've been at home, I mean, I go crazy if I sit there and just look at the screen all day. There will be moments where I keep an eye on the market when it's really going up and down, super volatile moments. But for the most part, I just kind of look at potential resistances and supports and whatnot, and I just set alerts and I walk away. And that is definitely what I suggest anybody looking to get into micro futures as well as just trading in general. Everybody thinks that day trading is just simply hopping on here, hopping in a trade, hopping out in seconds, which, like that trade I showed you guys a few minutes ago, I mean, it was a quick little 10-minute trade and we made 9 points. So on one micro future contract, 9 points is about 45 to 50 bucks after fees and commissions, 40 to 45 bucks. Yeah, I mean, those are nice, but those do not happen. Don't expect that to happen on every single trade because you're going to end up burning up your account. I keep it real with you guys. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I've done a lot of stupid things, thankfully a lot of which with a paper trading account before I started trading with real cash. But even with real cash, a lot of times you get caught up in things that you think might work. You don't test it first, you just hop right in, try to make the quick buck, and then next thing you know, you burn through some of your profits. So, take a look at the market here. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want, you can pause the video or whatever, take a screenshot. You can like look through my trades and whatnot. I don't know how many losers we had this week. Honestly, I don't keep track of the losers. Usually the losers are the hedges, of course, because like I said, we'll usually average into our long positions and then we hold them sometimes a week if we got to. Sometimes I've held a long for as much as about 2 or 3 weeks before, and that long ended up making me close to $400 or $500. So sometimes you just gotta hunker down, average down, let the trade play out. Not every trade's going to be a day trade. That's not my goal. My goal is just to simply make enough quote-unquote passive income from this to be able to replace my current active income that I earn from working every day. That's just my own personal goal. I don't want to have to sit here, baby my positions. I want to be able to just set alerts, and like I said, just walk away. I don't want another job. I want to be able to earn a little bit of passive income. You're still gonna have to work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this stuff, it's a lot of work, but as long as you just wait for that perfect setup. Like I think I put that in the title of today's stream, wait for the perfect setup. As long as you wait for that perfect setup, you will have far much more success than the average trader. Because let's be real, just look at the statistics. Over 90% of traders lose money. Why is that? Because they look to get rich quick. I tried to do get rich quick when I first got in the markets too, and I got burned. And I don't want you guys to get burned. I want you guys to learn from my own mistakes, learn from other traders' mistakes that are real with you. Traders that only show you profits aren't telling you the truth. That's just being upfront. There's a lot of good traders on YouTube, a lot of good traders online, but the ones that literally tell you, oh, in the first half hour do this and you're going to make this much money, or do this the last 10 minutes of the market, or they're full of shit. They're trying to sell you something. They make more money from selling you something than they do in the actual market. Where those of us that have learned the hard way, we just want to help you guys avoid those mistakes. So, and like I said, we don't sell anything over here. I do that for a reason, because I feel the moment you start to sell something, you're kind of on this blacklist. Because I mean, I see it on YouTube. Even the YouTubers who seem to be honest, that do sell courses, people give them so much hate. And I personally don't want to be thrown into that. One, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I haven't been successful enough, consistent enough, where I would even feel comfortable to sell a course to you guys. And two, I just document it all on here, live stream. We do these live streams, like I said, at least at the minimum once a week, unless if my spells that I have are just so ridiculous that I can't even hardly walk, which does happen from time to time. But we try to do these streams, like I said, at least once a week for you guys. So, but right now we're just waiting for the market to decide what is going to happen. Sorry if y'all hear that jingling in the background. Dog came upstairs to say hi. But this 3,200 level has really been kind of a line in the sand, I noticed, both for bulls and bears. You can see earlier on our 5-day, 15-minute chart, you can see early on that when it's pushing down, we came briefly below 3,200, didn't quite hit, we did barely hit 3,190 a couple times, but then as we started coming back up, I mean, it got rejected hard a couple times. And then finally, like usual, bulls took control, and then they came up to around that 30.20 to 30.30 resistance, or 32.20, 32.30 resistance again, and we may have topped out here, it looks like, but now they're battling once again close to that 3,200 level. So who knows, we may be in for yet another week of sideways trading. But that is pretty much all I got, so I will check the chat really quick, see if we got anything from you all. Hopefully the stream quality has been doing alright throughout the stream. Like I always say, if there is ever any stream issues, I know way back when we used to have some audio issues when I had a horrible microphone setup, but if we ever have any issues with mic quality or anything like that, just let me know in the chat. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here for future streams, future uploads. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. Because like I said, we try to do at least one live stream also during the week, sometime between Tuesday and Thursday, just as like a middle of the week market update if I have time to do that for you all. And then of course we do these Sunday streams every Sunday possible, just to get a live look at the market. I give you guys an update on my portfolio, what I'm holding, what I'm not holding. And of course, if you guys have any stocks that you have any questions about, or if you just have questions about the market in general, futures, options. The only thing I have not traded is Forex, and I don't really ever plan to do so. But everything else, been there, done that at some point. and here to answer the questions, of course. So I'm actually looking at maybe, just maybe, if we can find some support here around this 3,200 level again, which the Bears are trying. They're trying hard right now. If the Bulls can keep it above 3,200, we might buy one long contract. But as of now, we are in nothing. Like I said, we have not traded since Friday. We're in all cash right now. Just looking to potentially make some moves. The Bears are trying, man. They're taking it tonight so far. 15-minute chart, not quite oversold. That's kind of been our indicator over the last trading week. 15-minute and 1 hour has been our two indicators. 1 hour chart, I think we still got some room to go. Yeah, we got plenty of room to go if the Bears want to take it. If the Bears take it under 3,200, next level I'll be looking is 3,190. The Bears can take it under that. I mean, we could be talking 3,170s before Bulls start to gain a grip on it. So that'll be kind of interesting to see overall. It was really interesting to see the pivot on the daily chart, the pivot point, kind of the battle line, so to speak. From what investing.com was showing, is around that 3212, 3211 level, where you could see where we almost came down there and Bulls, boom, just took it right back, right out of the open, essentially. And when we came through the second time, just blew right through it. So I think tonight might be a good night for the Bears. We're already down now 11 points since close Friday. If we get a little bit of bad news, Bears could end up taking this another 30 points to the downside. So don't be surprised. If you're bullish, maybe consider putting a hedge on here. That's why whenever I buy longs, I always go out one contract. I always go long. So right now we're in the September contract. So my longs that I'm purchasing are in December. And if I'm hedging myself, then I will buy some contracts in the September, the current contract that we are in. But like I said, right now we're in all cash. We're just sitting, waiting to see if the Bulls can kind of take it back, or if the Bears are going to actually take control for once in the last almost week. They had it earlier on last week, but ever since then, the Bulls kind of took control, and then just consolidation for the last couple days. So we'll check the stream, the chat one last time. How's it going, Clint? Watching any earnings? Honestly, not a whole lot. That's another reason, though. I'm glad you brought up earnings. That's another reason why I'm not really holding anything going into this week, just because I heard, it's close to like 70 or 80 S&P 500 companies are reporting this week. I think like 8 to 10 of the Dow Jones companies are reporting. There's a lot of earnings this week. Too many to even keep up with. I'll have to pull up my TD Ameritrade calendar this evening and see who's all reporting this week. I just know it's going to be a busy, busy week. We got that. We got Corona. We got election. I mean, there's a lot. It makes sense that the market's consolidating right now. We got this. It's a pretty tight trading range right now, and it makes sense. You're talking 3,000 to 3,200 roughly on the S&P 500. As for individual companies, I don't know. I will, if you're in our Discord group chat, which if you're not, it's in the description below. Free, of course. I don't charge for anything associated with this channel. Never will. But I'll have to look at the earnings calendar, and I will let you guys know in the group chat what I'm looking at, what companies I'm really looking at. I'll tell you, a lot of companies I'm going to be interested to see are consumer staples, like your Targets, your Walmarts, your just all those more big box stores, Best Buy, even like restaurant chains like Chipotle. I don't think Chipotle reports this week. I don't know for sure, but I'm interested to see how like Chipotle, Starbucks. I'm interested to see how all these companies that had to take a massive pivot with the coronavirus. I'm interested to see how they did. or how they're doing, so to speak. But as for tomorrow, I know there is a lot of earnings starting first thing in the morning tomorrow. I don't know off the top of my head. It's been a day or two since I've looked at just like what earnings are coming up and whatnot. There's not a specific company that I can pinpoint right now, but like I said, I'll look into that this evening and let you guys know in Discord. I'll also be looking at the dividend stocks that are reporting, because hey, if you can catch a good dividend and a good earnings report with some good guidance, that's a triple winner right there. You can't really get much better than that. Chase, how's it going? Said believe Chipotle reports on Wednesday. Oh, okay. I didn't even know it was this week. So yeah, with Chipotle, that's one I'm watching this week. Let's take a look at them actually. Which one is that? CMG. Yeah. So the problem is a lot of these stocks, they've gone so far to the upside that it's like they're almost set up to fail right now. So let's see, 7:22. So yeah, that'd be Wednesday after hours, it looks like. So the problem is they've gone up so high, and that's what I was so worried about. Like one who fell victim to this, old Netflix. Now we've heard this story time and time again when it comes to Netflix. They have a lot of drops or pops after their earnings, so a lot of people are kind of shrugging it off. What I do like is it did bounce right off of that SMA line. However, we do have a strong little downward pattern at the moment. So if it can start to break out over $500, I'd be a buyer of Netflix. But to go back to the narrative I was talking about, a lot of these stocks, especially tech stocks, but just stocks in general, they've gone up so high for really, if we're just being honest, no legitimacy behind it when you look at the price to earnings ratios, that they've set themselves up to really fail unless if they just knock it out of the park. So that's why I'm kind of skeptical, not only with individual stocks at the moment, but just the stock market as a whole, because obviously if a lot of these companies are kind of set up to fail, and I don't know, I might be wrong, who knows, these earnings might cause these to go even higher, who knows. But I personally feel like they've just gone, look at Chipotle, I mean, it's gone up almost 3x from the low. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I get that the sell-off was pretty ridiculous too, but I mean, you gotta think the economy came to almost a complete standstill for a minute, so it made sense. Now, it's kind of hopes. I hate to say it, but I mean, a lot of this is just hopes and assumptions, pretty much hoping for the best without preparing for the worst. So, I don't know. I'm mixed on it because I'm always bullish on the market, but I'm cautiously optimistic is what I am. But I definitely would not be playing any options in this current environment, unless if you're playing more of a like a vertical spread, vertical call, vertical put, some kind of deal like that. Even then, I would have to go so far out of money. I just wouldn't want to really play these. I would wait until after earnings, as crazy as it sounds, because like Netflix, for example, you may be getting Netflix on sale at $500. It's hard to say. Wait for some confirmation. Tesla, oh yeah, that's going to be a crazy one. I could do a whole stream over this stock, like pretty much anybody could, right? Maybe I ought to do that sometime, but another one that's just out of nowhere gone up like 4x in just the last few months. A lot of people got caught bag holding around $1,600-1,700. I've never understood the stock. I don't think anyone really has, but I'll just say this. I think it's definitely another one that is set itself up more for failure than anything. I'll say this though about Tesla. Whatever, just keep an eye on it. More of an experiment than anything. Whatever direction it moves after earnings, so implied, yeah, that makes sense. But what I was gonna say though is whichever way, say it does move down, and honestly, I'm thinking 10 to 15%. In all honesty, it's like Say Tesla jumps up 10 to 15% after hours, after its earnings, watch it go the opposite direction for the following week. Or vice versa. If it drops 10 to 15%, you're going to see a bunch of bulls just coming in and buying it up. Unless, if, of course, we get just a total meltdown or something again where the market kind of hiccups 5 to 10% randomly. Quick little correction or something. But, yeah. Watch. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't say I'll guarantee it, but I would not be surprised one bit if Tesla drops or pops at least 10% and then within the next trading session or two reverse it and either wipe out the gain or wipe out the loss. So that'll be one. I mean, there's so many. Nvidia, I think, is another one. It's a company. I actually like Nvidia a lot. I've never actually owned Nvidia. I haven't owned them. I haven't traded their options, anything. But they are a company I like. Micron's another one. Even though I think they just reported recently. That's MU, of course. Or maybe it's already been a while. Let's see. They reported on the 29th, yeah. So I thought it was recently. But this is another company I like. I think they're highly undervalued down here at $50. I think this should easily be a $60, $70 stock right now. If a stock like Square, which don't get me wrong, I love Square. Square is another great one, actually, to keep your eye on whenever their earnings report is. But if Square, for Christ's sakes, is at $120, I don't know what that exactly is for their price to earnings. I know it is extremely high, though. But if SQ is way up here and MU isn't, I don't know. I think MU's lagging for some reason. I don't know a lot about the company internally or anything. It's lagging for some reason. All I know is in my own opinion, this should be a $60, $70 stock. And 60's on the very low end, in my opinion. This is a very good company. I don't know why it was even down Friday. I don't know why it's under $50. I mean, I almost just want to buy 50 shares of it and just forget about it and come back in 5 years and see what happens. That's not my type of style, or I would do that. But maybe, who knows, maybe I'll open up a self-directed IRA or something in the next few weeks or something and maybe do that. But another company to keep your eye out for. They actually just did their earnings also on the 29th. You can see they had a huge jump up because they actually did pretty well, at least from an earnings per share perspective. But, man, I don't understand it in all honesty. But, again, that's why, I play single stocks a bit from time to time. Boeing especially. Boeing is one to keep your eye out on. I think their earnings is a little bit later, 7/29, so another week or two before we have Boeing's come up. But I'm really interested in Boeing's. That is one for earnings season that I'm keeping my eye out on. We traded Boeing quite a bit. Got an old alert there. Yeah, we've traded it quite a bit for an easy 5, 10, 15% here and there. But another one that's going to be very interesting to see kind of what happens. Let's see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm looking for really in earnings. Like I said, there's so much coming up over the rest of July essentially that's going to just make the markets overall really make or break. Because if these earnings and guidance are just flat out horrible, you could definitely see the S&P retest that 3,000 level for sure. That's pretty much been our range now for the last month. If you look at it, we've been more obviously to the upside over the last few weeks, but we've been pretty stationary now for about a week or so. So the market's starting to kind of wonder how these earnings are going to go for sure. So I think the earnings are going to do one of two things. Well, pause. It's going to do one of three things. One, so these are the scenarios I'm looking for the rest of the month through earnings season essentially. One, earnings are bad or mediocre at best. Guidance is bad We get no virus news, no bad news in terms of virus news or anything, but like we just don't get any vaccine news or anything. Market drops probably to around 3,200 points essentially from where we're at right now. Scenario number 2, earnings are kind of mixed, maybe even good. Guidance is, bleak. I mean, obviously it's not going to be great with coronavirus and whatnot. So, I mean, market's kind of like, yeah, that we'll take it. And we still get no vaccine news. You're probably looking at them continuing to pin it right around 3,100 to 3,300, upper end of the range, so to speak. And then you got option number 3, where earnings are still, we're going to go with bleak. I mean, they're not the best, not the worst, considering the pandemic, obviously. Guidance, same deal. But then we get some sort of vaccine news. We get some kind of treatment news. We get some kind of good coronavirus in general, that cases are going down. We flatten the curve again for a second time. This, that, and the other. Just good news overall about coronavirus, and boom, we shoot up to probably close to all-time highs. I think that is the least likely option that's going to play out. Like I said, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in our Discord group chat. I'm interested to know what you guys think about that. But that's kind of what I'm looking out for the rest of the month. So, but that's pretty much it for the stream. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, definitely make sure to smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it, and it helps the channel out tremendously when you do so. And definitely share it with any friends or family that you know are just into the stock market and all that kind of stuff. We'd love to add people to this community. And like I said, if you're not already in our Discord group chat, it's totally free. I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but the link for that's down in the description. We have like 200 of you in there now. We'd love to have some more active folk in there for sure. And like I said, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified when we go live again here this upcoming week, hopefully. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom this year. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Take it easy, guys.